Good evening and welcome to Orca News. The headlines. The executive and legislative branches release the COVID-19 vaccination policies and process. Travel restrictions eased in more countries. And the commencement of the Schottler Finalization Infrastructure Project. The national government has released the COVID-19 vaccination policies and processes. More to report from Paul. Paul?
Yes, Mata. The executive and legislative branch have released the COVID-19 vaccination policies and process. The released policies and processes will be in effect when the vaccines will arrive in the country. As for the government and the health secretary's consideration to handle the vaccines, they are situated to procure certain procedures in the vaccination period. The policies are as follows. Under the emergency use authorization of a vaccine, a limited number of vaccinators will be procured in a time, whereas the general population is restricted to partake in the vaccination process. There are 7 phases for administering the vaccine. The first phase will be the healthcare workers and the hospital staff. The second phase will be the clinically vulnerable group, the persons with pre-existing conditions or comorbidities. The third phase will be the eligible elderly, the senior citizens. The fourth phase will be the public sector, people who are working for the government, people in the emergency sector, and people in the military and civil enforcement branch. From the first to the fourth phase are to be in effect for the emergency use authorization of the vaccine. Moreover, the succeeding phases will be in effect when the vaccine is approved for full use. Likewise, the fifth phase will be the private sector, companies, and employed workers. The sixth phase will be the remaining eligible citizens. This includes people, but is not limited to housewives, unemployed workers, and others. And the seventh and last phase will be the universal access of the vaccine. The said COVID-19 vaccination policies will be in order throughout the processes. All people have the right to refuse to inoculate from the coronavirus. Yet the government is encouraging eligible groups to be vaccinated from the coronavirus. The health secretary noted that the Pfizer vaccine will arrive by June this year. Mata?
Thank you, Paul. Ease of travel restrictions has been imposed in several areas. The places listed are in partial and limited travel restrictions. This means that travels must be essential and valid. Non-essential and vacation travel will not be authorized to travel in the following places: Iceland, Canada, the Bahamas, Ireland, the Faroe Islands, Azores Islands, Madeira Island, and the Canary Islands. All who will be traveling to these said places must present a negative COVID-19 test 3 to 5 days prior to departure. All other areas not mentioned will still be fully restricted from travel, including the Schengen area in the European Union as well as the whole nations of Denmark, Portugal, and Spain, excluding the said island groups. All who will be traveling into Landova will present a negative COVID-19 test prior to departure of the country of origin. Quarantine measures will still be imposed for travelers inbound to Landova in the Plainsfield Pier Hotel. They will be quarantined for a week upon their arrival. Here's our weather for tomorrow. The Schottler Finalization Project has been started last Monday and taking effect of the Infrastructure Project Act of 2021 that has been passed and put into law last week. The Schottler Finalization Project will put the municipality of Schottler to its closing and finalizing of all the pending infrastructure projects in the municipality. Schottler and Picot City Mayor Justin Limson took note of the finalization projects that will be constructing. For the second-year founding anniversary of Schottler next week, Mayor Limson is expecting to take in for granted the new commercial and industrialization the municipality and the city of Picot will be having. Furthermore, it is assured that the finalization project will take about 2 months to complete. Mayor Limson also wants to take considerations to Commerce Valley Terraces Village in the planning of the said Infrastructure Project Act. The Urban Planning and Development Department and the local government of Commerce Valley Terraces Village haven't responded as of today. And that's it for tonight's news. This is Mada Parkinson, reporting for Orca News. Good evening, everyone.